All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Good evening. Welcome. It's Erick Erickson here. News 95.5 AM 750 WSB. The phone number 404-872-0750 1-800-WSB Talk. We will keep you up to date with developments as this YouTube situation develops. There appear to be a number of people who have been taken to the Stanford University Hospital. There is a lot of misinformation circulating right now on social media about the name of the shooter, what the shooter looks like. It is being dismissed right now by everyone on the ground in California. Just be careful about that. If you're delving on social media trying to get answers, we will bring you the latest here at WSB. Right now, though, I want to move to the other big topic on the news today, the president's ongoing attack against Amazon.com and Jeff Bezos. And I've got to tell you, this is one of those things that just kind of reveals that a lot of people who call themselves conservatives aren't. It is a dangerous precedent for the president of the United States to use his bully pulpit to call out an American business in its private contracts with another American entity, in this case, the post office. For those of you who don't know, President Trump has been saying that Amazon is making a killing off its deal with the post office, and the post office is losing money on Amazon. And I want to be fair here because there is a kernel of truth to what the president is saying. And that kernel of truth is that a Citibank review of the post office says the post office could be charging $1.48 more per package shipped by bulk mailers. But that's different from what the president is saying. The president is making this about Amazon, but the Citigroup findings show that the post office could be charging $1.48 more per package sent by bulk mailers, whether they're small businesses or big businesses. This applies to everyone who uses the post office, who ships bulk mail. It applies not just to Amazon. If Walmart uses them, it applies to them. Your small business applies to them. That the post office could be charging more than they are. It's not an Amazon-specific thing. As to Amazon, though, we don't know the contract between the post office and Amazon. And you can say, well, then maybe the president is right, except there's a catch. We know that legally, the post office is required to be audited every single year by an outside auditor. And one of the things that auditor is specifically required to look at is the Amazon deal. And if the auditor finds that the post office is losing money to Amazon, then the deal must be canceled. And in every year that this contract has been ongoing between Amazon and the post office, the auditor has come back that the post office is not losing money. Now, if it was losing money, the post office is part of the executive branch of the government. The president is the chief executive officer. He could order a review, but he's not really ordering a review. He's just using this issue because he's mad at Jeff Bezos. But there's more here. There are more facts you need to know. You genuinely actually do need to know. As this argument heats up, I want to provide them for you. But first, we got to go check with Mark McKay, who's checking 285.
Hey, good afternoon, Eric. 285 at 513 is slow, as you might expect. Generally leaving 675 up to I-20, but complicating matters is a big rig that's straddling, three right lanes, only a left lane getting by this, what appears to be a broken down big rig on 285 eastbound, the outer loop between Flat Shoals Road, exit 61, and I-20. Heavy delays back at I-675. Spotty delays leaving Sandy Springs. The outer loop leaving Georgia 400 past Hollowell Parkway. In the loop delays typical for this time of day in Doraville, 285 eastbound between Peachtree Industrial Boulevard, headed east and south to Highway 78. Eric.
Thank you very much. So here's what we know. The post office has been losing business as first-class mail shipments have declined. But for holidays, the post office has seen a decline in revenue for first-class mail, even though it has a monopoly in the United States. Any first-class mail in the United States must be sent by the post office. It can't be sent by FedEx or UPS or DHL or anyone else. If you want to send first-class mail, it's got to be through the post office. They maintain a government-controlled monopoly, and they're losing money on it, as monopolies tend to do over time. But they're losing money not necessarily because they have a monopoly. They're losing money because people are turning to email. People are turning to other means to transmit messages. So there's a lot of bills and junk mail that go through the mail, and those are typically charged a lower rate than first-class mail. Where the post office is making its money is on parcel shipments, and that's where Amazon comes in. Last year, Amazon paid the U.S. Post Office $7 billion. $7 billion. In addition, Amazon worked with the post office to beef up distribution services and whatnot, technology with the post office, helping them do that. So the post office actually made $7 billion from Amazon. Now, you can say the post office should have charged Amazon more, but they were competing with FedEx and with UPS. It seems to me the solution should be the old conservative staple of privatizing the post office. Let them compete in the free market, because they're not really a free market. I don't think the solution is to tear up the contract with Amazon, because Amazon is providing the post office $7 billion in revenue it otherwise wouldn't have. It's not like the post office, because of its monopoly, has to say, well, we can handle Amazon and we can't handle any of the rest of you. No, anybody can use the post office. The supply and demand issue isn't an issue really for the post office, because it's a government monopoly. So if Amazon goes away, the post office loses $7 billion. Where are they going to fill that void? I mean, the president can argue that the post office should be charging Amazon more than they are. But he shouldn't be arguing that they should get out of the contract because they're losing money. That's simply not true. I mean, to quote the Sinclair Broadcasting promo that everybody in the media is upset about, facts are neither left nor right. Facts are facts. And the fact is that the post office is not losing money. And you don't have to believe me on this. You can go to the federal government. You can type in audit U.S. Postal Service, and you can see all their financial audits over the past several years. You can review the information yourself. You can see the profit and loss, and you can see why the post office is mostly losing money. And why is it losing money? It has nothing to do with Amazon. It has to do with the law Congress passed a decade or so ago that requires the post office to put money into retirement accounts now for future retirees. So a lot of the money that the post office brings in has to go into retirement accounts for people who are decades away from retirement. And that hurts their bottom line. But Congress made them do that because in the old days, the post office pension plan nearly went bankrupt. And Congress had to do something, so they're making them do this. That's why the post office is losing a lot of money. Has nothing to do with Amazon. It has to do with a pension plan that Congress by law has designated they must put money towards now. Congress by law has also designated that the post office is not allowed to lose money in contracts. There is a federal law in place. The U.S. Postal Service is prohibited by law from entering into a contract with another entity for shipment that would cause the post office to not break even but lose money. It's against the law. So maybe the law is being broken. Okay, maybe so. I can show you the financial audits. And the financial audits, so they're not only breaking even, they're making $7 billion from Amazon. Maybe you say they should make more than that. Okay. But don't say that Amazon is taking advantage of the post office. They're a private sector business in an arm's length transaction with the federal government. Y'all, it is a dangerous precedent for the President of the United States to attack a privately held American business, or publicly traded American business for that matter, with Amazon, because of its dealings with other Americans and American entities, including the federal government. It is a dangerous thing, this picking of winners and losers. When Barack Obama was president, I'm old enough to remember conservatives railing on Barack Obama, picking winners and losers, railing on the Solyndra deal, all of that. I'm old enough to remember all of that. It was less than 8 years ago that all of this happened. And here comes this president trying to pick winners and losers, make an American success story a business a loser. You may be cheering this president on now, but you're only giving ammunition to future presidents you don't like to do it to other businesses. This is not conservative policy. Let the free market work. This was an arm's length transaction. We should be applauding the innovation of Amazon. And by the way, again, the post office isn't losing money. What the president is doing is dangerous demagoguery. And he's providing an opening for the next president that you don't like to up the ante. And that is not going to be a good thing.
Erick Erickson. You may not always say 5